Having customer data in your CDP does not necessarily mean that you can act on it on your website. Hi everybody, my name is Greg Crable and this is my podcast, Something I Learned Yesterday, where I take one issue, usually from the world of publishing, and try to explain it in 3 or 4 minutes. One of the CDP concepts people seem to struggle with is the role of the web profile. Some people assume that once you import customer data into a CDP, you're able to target those people on your website. Not necessarily. So I tried to think about a way to explain this, so I came up with this little story. Joe has been a faithful shopper at Food R Us for 20 years. He shops every Monday without fail, except for the 2 weeks he spends in Bermuda on vacation. He always greets Jane, the manager, and he always gets in Samantha's checkout line. Jane and Samantha know that Joe is a fly fisherman, owns a classic Mustang, and drinks a gin and tonic every night before bed. Over the years, they've learned a lot of little details about his life. One of Joe's quirks is that he always pays cash. During the pandemic, Joe had to order his groceries online. He set up an account, and for 7 months, his groceries were delivered to his front door. The system got to know his habits and gave him appropriate coupons and special offers. After the pandemic, Food R Us implemented a new point of sale system that integrated data from online shopping with in-store shopping. This would allow them to marry all that data and get a more complete view of the customer. Now, one Saturday morning, Jane, the store manager, was telling Bradley, the regional marketing coordinator, about her favorite customers. Joe's name came up, and Bradley, wanting to show off, wanted to look him up. "What's his last name?" Bradley asked. And Jane laughed. In all those years, she'd never asked. "What does he usually buy?" Bradley asked, and Jane easily rattled off his regular purchases, but try as they might, they couldn't find Joe's online record. Now that Monday, Joe came in like normal, and Jane asked for his last name. "Esposito," he said. Jane immediately logged into the customer data platform and found him, or she thought she found him. There was actually a Joe and a Joseph Esposito in the database. Jane quickly ran to Samantha's line and asked her to find out which side of town Joe lived on. With that information, she was able to connect in-store Joe with online Joe. But that still didn't connect Joe's in-store purchases with his online profile. In order to do that, Samantha would have to enter something to identify Joe, such as his phone number, with every transaction. Now, that's by the way, why stores ask for your phone number, of course. This same problem applies to your website and other customer data. You can load everything you know about your customers into your CDP, but you can't identify them online until they provide some information online that allows you to connect those records. That's usually an email address, but it can be other things, a phone number or a name and address. It's very important to understand this concept. Most of your web visitors are anonymous, even if they're in your store every day, even if they get your magazine or your e-newsletter, even if they're in your special club. They're still anonymous online until they give you some information that allows you to connect that information. In order to connect the web profile with other customer data, you need some point of contact, some personally identifiable thing that ties them all together. So I hope that helps. If you still struggle with the concept, please give me a call. I'd be happy to talk it through with you. You can see my contact information on the next page. Thanks so much.